Okay, we need now to do beam 3, and then to do detailing of beam 3, this is the top view. Because we said the beam is going to be notched, being that it's going into the web of beam 1 here, we need to notch the beam here. We are not going to show the notch from the top view. So this beam 3 will show the detailing from the side view. We'll be looking from here where we see the flange and the bottom flange. Okay, so to show the notch you need to have something like you need to have two beams coming in like this. This will be our beam 1, and then beam 3 will be coming from the right hand side, not from the top. So we are viewing from the front. So we'll see the web with the beam, the thickness of the web is here. We'll see the flanges and at the bottom, and then we'll show the notch of beam 3 coming into beam 1. We have already done the detail of beam 1, and we are showing the holes on the web of beam 1. So that is what we are supposed to do. So this beam 3, I'm going to move the end plate. The end plate won't be going all the way that side. It needs to be notched. Okay, so we are going to notch the beam. This is the center of the other beam, which is beam 1. This was beam 1. If I bring beam 1 in, my beam 1 was this one. I'll copy it here, and then we rotate it in place without the holes. Okay, I'll bring beam 1 here, and then rotate beam 1 to sit that way. It's not necessary to show the plate for beam 1 and the end plate. That is where beam 3 is coming in. I'm going to move this end plate for beam 3 and move beam 1 to align with the top of the flange here. Okay, and then that's my beam 1, and then I'll rotate this view because we are looking from the side view. We'll see something like that. We rotate the entire of this end plate for beam 3, which will also change in shape. So it will be like this. And being that we are looking from the front, we are going to show the thickness of the webs. Okay, that's the top of the beam here. I'll put it here, and then you can now draw the webs. Just project from here, copy this one here, and there's already a member down here. This is beam 1. I want beam 3. Let's try to rotate this one and then move this member to be, it's this one. So this one is not sitting right. This was our beam 3. Okay, and then it must be on top. So I'll move it to be in line with, let me move it closer to be in line with that one. The top of the beam is here. We want something like that. That is beam 3 from the top, from the front I mean. Then you're going to move this one here, and then you can copy that one, because now we are on the front where we see the depth. From the top we saw the width. Okay, from the top that was the width we showed. That's why we turned it the other way. So from the front this is the right way, and you're going to extend this. That's where the beam is ending. Then extend your lines to meet with the beam here, and then you can now trim that part and trim this part here. And then trim trim. This will be out. Alright, so the thickness of these plates we are going to change. Also the position of the hose will change. We are now working from the front view. So extend. Okay, and the web also must be not here. The web is now this one. Why we were seeing the web, it was because it was from the top view, but from the front we'll see like this. Okay, and then once you show the front, you are going to show the hose here on the web, the position of the hose according to the other beam, which I'm going to bring in. This side here, it's at this point where it is now connecting to, not this one, assignment here, beam 3. It's those points here where we have IPE 160 beam, those points. So we'll come to that point. Let's finish the notching part. With the notching part, you need to know that this beam here is coming in here, so you can now move this away. The end plate detail, you can move it somewhere this side, and then try to bring this beam near. Okay, there must be a small clearance there before you notch of like 2 to 3, so you can offset 2 to 5, they say. If I use 2, that's the clearance, and then move the beam, which is the main beam, to that point. Okay, and then we have to now notch this beam. We have to notch beam 3. How do we know what point to notch beam 3? Because beam 3 needs to come and sit here. Okay, it needs to come and sit on the web according to what we did on beam 1. Beam 3 was coming inside here. We have done the detail of that part. Okay. The beam 1 was ending with the columns here. That was on the column. But when we look at beam 3, I've already mentioned that it's touching here on the web. So you need to have a notch, but the notch you can't show on the top view. So if we are looking from this side of the beam, from this other side of the beam, okay, or you can look from that side of the beam. So once you are looking from that side, you will see the plate here, and the plate here, and the plate here with the hose. In fact, we'll just show the hose on the flange. Okay. All right, so now notching of this beam. What is the size of beam 3? You go to the question paper. Beam 3 is 203 by 133 by 30. To get the dimensions of the notch, you go to the blue book. Okay, 203 by 133 by 30. This is the beam. Okay, 203. Was it 303? 305. I'm forgetting. 203 here. 203 by 133. So when we are here, we look at 203 by 133 by 5. You need to know the clearance is 5. Okay, we are working with 5, and then there is 74 length, and H2 is 20. So you are going to offset 74 and 20 down. What is length? The length, you have to leave 5 clearance here. Okay, I will leave 5 clearance, and then from there I move the beam in there. Then from there I'm going to offset 74, and then from there we offset 20 down. Okay, so when we go to AutoCAD, you are going to have a line here. Let me copy this one. Copy, you put it here, then offset 5, enter. That will be your clearance for the beam. That's where the beam will come and end. And then offset this one 20 down, enter, 20 down, and offset this one 74. Yeah, 74. So it's on the center here, 74. Let me delete that. Then you can now trim. So what are you trimming? You are trimming this piece away, and the notch is coming until here. So this must be trimmed, and this must be trimmed. Okay, then they say there must be a fillet. What is the fillet radius for this beam? Fillet radius, that is R. Okay, R is 10 minimum, so you can work with 10 minimum, and then we go and try to put the fillet. 10, enter. It's here and here. Okay, undo. We need to trim this piece here. Yeah, then try to do a fillet of 10. Radius, enter. 10. Why it's not accepting? Fillet. R, enter. 10, enter. Okay, it will be here and there. That is the radius of 10. Then you're going to move your beam, the entire beam, not even the beam. Let me move the column. I'll move beam 1. Okay, they'll meet here, so that you leave that allowance there. So this one we can delete. So what I've done, you can do to the other side, meaning that this one you just mirror. Okay, mirror halfway on the beam, enter. This we don't need that, delete. Then you can come and trim that one and trim that one. We don't need the column. Okay, match properties. The column was just, the beam was just showing us, you know, helping us to do the connection. This is a beam to beam, so the main beam is this beam 1, and there's no need of stressing to get to have the beam here. Okay, so you do that, and the details on the end plate will be shown here. Those are the details that are on the web here. So you can just leave the end plate here, and then here you leave the end plate there. On the beam here, there's going to be holes here, and then you're going to have that. What we are going to have is something looking like this is structural book, but the notch is something like that. Okay, when I zoom in here, you'll see that that's where the beam will be attached to this piece here, and that's where the plate is. So once you leave that thickness of 5, then you can do the notch, and once you put the notch, you put the thickness of the plate. So I want to show you the final drawing, a detailed drawing that has a plate in. So what we are showed there is the plate. You see, once we notch, we need to put 10mm plate here. You leave the allowance, then 10mm plate. In this situation, you are still going to offset 10. So I'll copy this, not offset, I'll copy, because you still have to show the thickness of the, then we say 10, enter, offset 10, enter. The plate of 10 will start here. That is the thickness of the plate. So you can move the beam. Okay. Then you say move. Then you can come and show the end plate thickness. The beam will start here. Then here I'm going to bring the thickness of the end plate, of which you can draw if it's 10. You're going to say offset 10, enter. Yeah, then there's a 5 left here, which is your clearance. This is sitting here, one notch. Move this piece to come and close here, and then close that there. Alright, so we need a line here for the plate, and then for the whole position of the plate, this is the plate that we're going to have. You can either project from here, okay, but the plate won't go that far. The plate will start, I'm gonna move this plate here, move the plate so that the top of the plate can be in line with that one, or even a bit lower. You can go a bit lower to leave for welding, 10 millimeters lower. I'll put it here, and then I'll move it down by 10. The holes are left. Undo, undo. Move. We want the plate to align with this top, okay, but the beam is not here. Remember that your beam is in line up here. Okay, so once you put the plate there, you have to work with the pitch. From here you can offset or use the center of the plate, and this plate is too big. Make sure that it just can go all the way up to here or even less. Okay, you offset 10 down here. That's how we do it. So I'm going to have to draw a line here. Okay, for welding you can go 10 down. If it's 10 down, then I can bring this one here, okay, and 10 down from the edge there. It's fine. You can set 10 down, enter, and then you can move this to align with that 10. Okay, something like that. You can have a plate like that. Then we are going to offset pitch. Remember the pitch we worked with from the center here. So you can work with the pitch on the middle here, this line, and offset 70, but I'll offset 35, and then 35 here. You can have the hole there. If it's 35 here, no, that will be too much, and then that's where you move your holes from the center here to there. Move these holes to here, and then those are center lines. You make sure that you match properties here to these centers. You can delete this one and then change this plate to construction line. Delete that, delete that. So if you want to save money, what we usually do is this one won't even go up until there. You can go inside by 10, okay, the same way this one was sitting. You can come down by 10 and by 10, and then you weld it there. And then once you weld, you're going to move everything here, the center to the center here. Then you save money than you welding everything up until the bottom. Okay, so there must be some sort of allowance left. The edge distance you can work with 40 or 35 for this one. So let me see how much is here. So let's say offset 35, enter. If I offset this one by 35, it's up until there. So I'm sure this one is fine because that is the minimum. How much is this? 45. Yeah, 45 is better, which you also have to leave here. It will be 45. And then you show your center lines here, and then match properties, then copy from the center to the center there, undo. You need to copy the center lines from here to there. And then once you do this, we are going to scale it down and put the dimensions in. Okay, please make sure that the plate is closed here and the beam is ending on here. This is the 10mm thick plate, which is this one here. We do the same on the other side. I'll just delete this. Whatever is happening here must be happening that side. So mirror and mirror on the center of the beam there. Yeah. And then you can extend. This one is wrong. Then extend this line here. Okay, so if we want to locate now the centers on which we have the other beam coming on this section, I'm going to use this as my center line. So let me move it in the center. Yeah, there. Then offset 750. That is in the question paper. Okay, and 750. Then offset 500. So we need to readjust this beam. So 750, then 500. Okay, after 500, let's look at the question. Look here, that's beam 3 from the center, 750, then 500, 500 into the center of the other beam. So we need to readjust. The center of the beam is here, meaning that you have to move the center of the beam from here to there. That's how it is. And then you can trim the notch and delete that line. Yeah. Then this one also, you move the center of this beam 1 into this. That's the center. And then you can now trim. This one is wrong. Okay, there are 2 lines here. Delete 1 line. And then here you also have to trim the beam. Then the thickness of the plate. This is the 5 clearance. Just confirm that it's the clearance of 5, 4.4. Supposed to be 5. Okay, I'll just mirror. Let me delete this side and then mirror this piece. Yeah, we're going to mirror this in the center here. Okay, yeah, that is the end plate. So the beam must end here. Once that has been done, you have put the notch. You need to show the hole position. Remember what's happening here. We are not looking from the top. We are looking on the side view. So we'll see the hole position for this beam that is coming here. The beam that is coming here is this beam 5. Okay, beam 5 coming from the top side of beam 3. But we are looking from the side view, so we'll see the beam as it is sitting on the center line here, on the flange. It's sitting on the warp of beam 1. It's here. So what is that? IP beam 5 is IPE 160. So in AutoCAD you have to go File, New, and then you look in the parallel eye sections just at the bottom. You know, when you go to the saver, you will have to go to the symbols, SSD, then you look for eye sections, parallel flanges. Then down here you find IPEs 160, this one. Okay, 160, open. This is the I-beam. Then you are going to copy to clipboard, bring here, and then you are going to paste. That is the beam that's coming here. So what we'll do is we need to center it. It needs to be in the center. I'm going to do this center so that it can now sit on the center. Okay, we'll see the beam how as it comes. So I'll copy, and this is the center that must be here. Then you copy all of them onto the other parts. There's another one here, another one here. There's no need of showing the entire beam, we just need to show the holes here for this beam. So this beam IP 160, you need to know what is the web, the breadth of this flange here. It's 86. So when we're looking for 86, the gauge distance for 86, you go to your blue book for IPR. Let me say 42, enter. This is 89. That was 86. Yeah, so between 76 and 89, we are using gauge distance of 50 G1 from the center here. So it's 50, 50. So you come back, not 50, 25, 25. It should be 50 G1 from the center. So it's 25, 25. When you go here, you are going to offset 25, enter. There and there, and then offset from here. We are working with the pitch now. This is the center. I'm going to offset 35, recommended pitch 70, so it's half, which is 35. Okay, the recommended pitch is 70 between the holes. So offset 35, enter. From here, let's say there's a hole, you go there, and another one here. Okay, then I can draw a hole of radius 11. Yeah, then copy. There will be 4 holes here, one here, one here, one here, and we're saying the pitch should be 70. You can see that is the pitch, and to gauge distance that you took that side, which is from here to here, that will be the gauge distance for those holes. You can show here to dimension. And once that has been shown, you don't even need to show the I-beams. What you do is now copy the hole positions with the center lines. Copy on the center of each. There. Yeah. And once that has been done, then you can just delete this beam. We don't need information now for this beam. We only wanted to know the location of the holes using this beam and looking from the front. From the top, we were not going to see these holes. We were going to see the thickness on the web. I'm not going to delete this. Yeah. And then this is the line, which is the main center line. You need to extend it a little bit out and then make it trim, short to come and align with that one. Must be very neat and do. Yeah. Here again, we don't need these I-beams. You can just leave the center to the beam, remove the I-beam and leave the center to the beam. Also, you can try to trim. Okay. And once you trim, you put in the dimensions. You see, from the center of the beam to the center here. Then you go to annotate continuous dimension. Continue to dimension, continue to dimension. We are going to dimension here as well. We need the dimensions of this plate. And then we need the size of the plate that side. We need the pitch. We need the gauge distance. Okay, what else? And then you put the title here. You do the same for this beam here. Or else you can just have a copy of the other one, it's fine. It's the same things. the dimension, okay, repeat dimension, pitch, repeat dimension, G1. What else? Alright, and then you put the text here. Okay, you come here, but before you text, you need to scale this beam down. This beam 1 also, it's the same situation. Make sure that you dimension it. That was the example for beam 1, and then it was viewed from the top. Okay, it was viewed from the top, so the center here must be in line with the center of this one here. That's where the web is, but must be outside there. Then try to shorten that. And then we put dimensions. The beam dimension is the beam distance from here. We need that distance of the beam. They will cut this length for the beam. Then we need the center to the column. Beam 1 was going into the column web, and the center was from here to there. You need to leave the column centers. Okay, and then you show the distance here. Try to make them neat and short. And then we put the plate size. This plate is looking from the side, remember, not from the top. When we go to the side here, from the right view, looking from that side, you will see this plate, and it's sitting upright. Not the way I've put it, it's sitting upright. From the front view, you'll be able to see the length from here to here. Okay, but this is from the top. We are saying from the top, we are only seeing the top here. Then the position of the other beam was here. So you need to move the center into the center of the beam. Yeah, and then you also have to put the dimensions now from the center of the column to the center of the beam. And doesn't look alright. Dimension. Okay, I can dimension from here to here. Then you can go and annotate continuous dimension, then it goes to the other end there. So you are going to scale down both of these to scale 1 to 10. Select, scale 1/10, enter, and then bring the template in. Click here. This is for question 2, and bring this template here for question number 1. Question 1, if you can't see the dashed lines here, this should be hidden details. You can go File, Properties, and try to play around with that 2, enter, again maybe 5, enter. Then I'm able to see the dashed lines, and then I can match properties from here and anywhere else where I can see dashed lines. These are hidden details, but you won't be able to see the hidden details. On this other side, the hidden details are, okay, we won't see. There will be holes here which are hidden details, and you need to project center line. Okay, and this should be center line. We'll change, copy to the top here, center there, match properties, center line to center line to center line. and then match properties, hidden detail. I'm gonna match from here, this one to these other ones. This will be hidden details, and then you can trim. Trim there, also on the other side, or else you can just delete and then we are going to mirror. Okay, I'll delete all of that and then I'll mirror from this end here. Oh, it was supposed to be trimmed here on the plate only. Okay, these hidden details will be ending on the plate. Center can go over, it's fine. This we trim until there. The center line, please make sure that you try to lengthen it. Even that way is fine. Okay, I'll try to be here and there. Don't go over the other center line. Yeah, leave it like that. And once this is done, you mirror to the other end. Same mirror using the center line here, midpoint. Enter. Okay, and that is the detail there. You can move it near. Next is to type here. You go to text, then you're going to text here. It's fine. You say how 10 millimeter plate width. Diameter, you are going to put diameter 22. So at that point you are going to insert a symbol for diameter, degree, for diameter 20 with diameter 22 holes. Okay, 1 off. This is one plate, 1 off. Okay, and this one should be under text. Then you can just copy this one here and put here. Then you come down here and do the next test for the title of the beam. The size of the beam, beam 1. Okay, universal beam, UB, and then you check the size of beam 1, 305 by 165 by 41. 305 by 165 by 41 kgs per meter length. 1 off. This beam is there is only 1. If there are 2 beams, beam 1s, let's check. If there are 2, you say 2 beams. There is another beam 1 here, so it's 2 beams of beam 1. Okay, they will cut 2 beams of the same size, so you say 2. You bring here 2 off universal beams. This one should be size 5 millimeters high because it's the main heading. 5 or yeah, it's on that one. Or you can right click, you go to properties and go and change the texts under text size. Yeah, it says 7 or 5 is fine, and then put it under text layer and then move it nicely there in place. You do the same for this other beam, and yeah, if there's anything, these dimensions must go back to original dimensions. We have scaled down and the measurements are wrong. This is not 5, this is 70, this is 50. So what do? You select this. You can first check on annotate and then go to scale 1 to 10 if ever there is one. If there's no scale 1 to 10, you have to go to primary units. Select this, right click, properties, you go to primary units. There's primary units, and change the dim scale, this one, dimension scale. So you select the dimension, you right click the dimension, then you come here to dim scale and change it to 10. because you use scale 1 to 10, and then it comes back to the original. Then for the rest, you have to match property from this one, which is correct. Match property to that one, to that one. All of them you can highlight like this. To this one, this one, this one. This is not allowed. I'm going to clean up here. Okay, this should be 70. Something happened. 70, 70. Okay, dimensions must not be, you need to drag them down. Must be very neat like that. Then move this one out away from the 70. Make sure it's neat. Then continue matching properties. I see this one here is not changed. Then you can dimension also this one, and then you match your properties. Match properties. This one to that one. Match properties. This one to that one. Where else? You need to also do here. And then match properties. Match properties from here to there. This one is not allowed. You need to clean up. Take this bigger dimension, drag it out somewhere there. Okay, this center line is not needed. You can delete. We have another one here. Yeah, you can just delete. And then if you can't see the centers, you select the line, right click, properties, then you increase the line scale, maybe 5, then press enter. If it's not 10, enter. I see it's still not showing. Try to go back to 1, enter. 5, enter. So if you see that it's still not accepting, you need to look for some, let's see, center line. Yeah, for a center line that is, you know, like this one, then you match from here. So you select this center line, match properties to the other ones. Yeah, it's still center, so we need to reduce the, you need to reduce the dimension, the distance in between. 5 maybe is too much. Enter. Let's see on what scale it is on. Select, right click, properties. Try to say 0.5. Enter. Yeah, there 0.5 is accepting. So you can now match to 0.5. And that one. And the rest of the centers. Yeah, this one 0.5. Which also will be the same to these ones. Okay, and that's how it is to be done, guys. The next session I'm going to explain how you do the match properties. I'm going to explain how you do the columns. I'm going to answer question 2, which was the column question. Yeah, that's the one I'm going to help you next time. Okay. So now what you must do is to print. If the work is finished, you edit here, you double click and put your ID number. Okay, double click, put the date, you know, these things you must do during exam. Otherwise, if we wish to print this, you go to file, you go to print direct here, choose the printer. We usually use Toshiba Staff Room, select, and then you go to window. This monochrome, we are missing the building plots, SSD plot style. If it's missing in the exam, you need to ask the invigilator, or you need to come in on the screen. You right click on the screen, you go to options, you load the plot style. Okay, when you go to options, you go to profiles, then import, and then you go into the saver that will be on your desktop. You open saver, and then when you open saver, mine is not connected, you go to public. inside public you will get this drawing, which is your DWG. I think I've put it somewhere. I'm not sure where I put DWG drawing. I do not have it. That's why it's missing plot style. So you get this drawing 1. It's written drawing 1. And then when you bring it, open it, it will come and appear here. Then you say set current. And then once you are done, okay. Yeah. Then whenever you try to print, it will show. Then you go to print. Mine is still not showing because I'm not on the server. So choose the printer name, Toshiba Staff Room, window. Okay. You are going to click there, select window and to the other corner. Then you can preview. Why it's looking in color? Because I'm missing the plot style. You don't have to have it in color. It will be very faint and you might fail the exam. So you need to go back and fix your plot styles. Okay, you make sure you fix your plot style. Once the plot style is done, then you can just click on print. Okay, that's how we do it here. So mine is printing, but unfortunately it's going to be very faint. That's how you print. You say question 1, you put the question number, question 2 here. Question 1 is this one, which was beam 1. Remove it here. And then there's question 2. Yeah, question 1 and question 2. Put the title for this one, put the information for this one. In the end, guys, the memo is here. SSD memo. This is question 3. Okay, this is question 3. Question 1, beam 3. There's beam 3. They have worked with 80. It's fine. We worked with 74 according to and we worked with 20 deep here. There are the 2 holes here. There's the beam center. Okay, you can see the 500. One of universal beam. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 holes. Okay, for that I-beam. Yeah. And they have worked with the pitch. Then which other one? Yeah, this is here, and the pitch is 70. You can also work with those numbers as long the edge is not less than 35. It doesn't matter. So this is all you're supposed to do on the total length. That's how you get the answer for the beam. All right, I'll see you next time, and if there's any questions, please feel free to contact me. Goodbye.